Greetings, others. This is Kiara SW. I am presenting you today with a look at some of the classes here in Otherland. The little tutorial area is pretty awesome because it allows you to take your plain Jane Simuloid, who has no abilities whatsoever, and go into these little portal areas and try out these different classes. As you can see, you get decked out in level 64 gear with some sample skills, and this outfit looks really awesome on a female assassin. Just saying. Um, the abilities I'll go over really quickly, and kind of some hotbar information. So to activate your cursor, you simply hit your control key. You've got your Z, X, and C. Those are for potions, buff food, that kind of thing that you can utilize while in combat. Your F keys here, you've got 3 of them to use. Will effectively swap out your weapon. As you can see, we've got a pair of daggers, and we have a one-handed sword. You can see here that I can't move my cursor here. You can see that the heavy attack for each is different, as well as the special attack, but it gives you very similar stats. Although I must say that the crit chance on the sword is nice, whereas the daggers give you increased heavy damage. So each weapon has its pros and cons, but the nice thing about other lands is that you can switch back and forth as necessary during combat, so that's kind of nice. Moving on, of course, we've got our mini map in the center. We also have our player versus player flag that we can toggle on and off. I understand that there's a slight increase to your experience gains if you have your PvP flag on. I haven't tested this out, but that's what they tell me. Toggling it on, it takes 30 seconds to activate, and then to toggle it off, it takes 5 minutes to deactivate. So if you are in an area and you see someone else that is flagged, you won't be able to just kind of sneak attack them by instantly attacking. The 30 seconds will give them an indicator that, hey, there's a guy that's flagging right there, so I should be warned, or be prepared, either way you look at it. Also, the 5 minutes allows others to take advantage of you, so you don't freak out and say, oh no, there are 2 guys and I am scared now, so I'm going to unflag so they can't hurt me. Well, no, you're going to have to make your getaway, or they will. So I think that the cooldowns on that, it's really nice. So moving on to other skills here, we've got your Q and your E. So your Q is for your heavy attack. And you'll see in a minute when I get in combat, it will have a little meter on the left-hand side to indicate when that is activated and you can utilize the skill. And the E will show up on the right-hand side of your character, indicating that the special attack is available. Your 1 key here is this particular one is for going into stealth, which is pretty awesome. You get like a wireframe character. You can sneak around. Vanish is basically an aggro wipe for you if you need to make a getaway. It basically, while you're in combat, it will allow you to go into stealth. Prime Killer is an aggressive stance that increases your attack power when it's toggled on. A hyperlink is basically like a tether to slow your opponent and make it easier for you to. It cripples them so they can't get away from you. Rack is a basically a debuff. It inflicts pain on the target, and reduces their damage output for a short time. Eventually, I would imagine that the developers will put more specific information like how much of an increase and for how long. So we've got some hard numbers to go off of. Vitality is a buff to boost your party's health. Obliterate is basically an interrupting attack that you use while stealthed. And then, of course, we've got our targeted AoE attack called Poison Cloud. So I'll go ahead and deactivate my cursor so you can see what that looks like. And we'll go ahead and get into stealth here. Show you what that looks like. You can see it's a pretty cool looking ability, but you can see you move pretty slow when you're in stealth. I don't know if they're going to make any adjustments to that, but I guess we'll find out, how the community responds to that and go from there. Something of note that we discovered is if you hit the V key, it will show your health bar over your head. So if you like to see that sort of thing, you can see it there. And as you can see, your target is the health bar is indicated at the top of your screen in here. So that's who you have locked on at the moment. So let's go ahead and we'll start out and I'll show you what Poison Cloud looks like. So you can see you can move this thing around, and we can start out with just clicking on that. Of course, we can't use Obliterate now because they know we're here, but basically movement is, your WASD keys. I like that the A and D are set to strafe. That's pretty nice. Let me show you what Obliterate looks like. I haven't successfully been able to use Obliterate because I am awful at assassin type characters. As you can see, I've been spotted. So anyway, I'll just kind of build up a little bit of ability here. So you can, let's see. Build up a little bit on the meter so I can use my heavy attacks and show you what that looks like. As you can see in the hotbar, I don't lose my progress with these until I actually burn them up. So you can see I'm pretty much ready to use my Q. So I'm going to finish this guy off and then show you what it looks like on a fresh target here. Or somewhat fresh. There we go. So that was my special attack with daggers. And of course it looks a little different for when you're using your sword. I apologize. Something else to note is the assassin can also equip quarterstaffs. That looks pretty cool, and it gives you some other unique abilities. In addition, each weapon in the game, like for instance, if I want to equip a gun with the assassin, I can do so, and it will give me additional abilities. So that's kind of cool. So I apologize. I've been using my right mouse click, and it's been burning up some of my heavy attack. So now that it's full, I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So it's just kind of a special deal. Let me build it up again, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm using the sword. I'm not much of a melee player, so I'm probably the worst one to do a video that's showing you what it's like to play melee. And I am simply using the standard attacks just to build up and show you what the heavy attack looks like. Oop, need to get in a little closer. So that's what the sword looks like for a heavy attack, and we'll build up a little bit more and show you what the special attack looks like. Shouldn't be long here. Okay, are we ready? So the assassin is more of a single target kind of guy. Although the poison cloud obviously will have some AoE damage. That looks pretty amazing. I don't know if it leaves any kind of a dot or if it just does, you know, single damage to everyone in the area. That will be something that the devs will have to confirm or deny. And let's see, I'll show you what 5 looks like. Ooh. You can see that I'm slowly regenning health as I go, and it's making a little blip noise to let me know that's activated. I haven't really taken much damage, so you can't really see, but maybe if I attack one of the bosses, then you can see what that looks like when you take some damage in the game. Ah, here we go. Here's a boss. Hello, boss. Eat my sword. And I'll throw some poison cloud. And I'll activate my little buff here. So as I take damage, if I didn't want to have my little health bar here, you could actually see a little red indicator on the corners of my screen. So I'll just kind of hang tight here and let him beat up on us a little bit more. Oh, so it's changed phases. There's apparently a different phase to this fight. So come on, somebody beat me up. Sorry, this is taking longer than anticipated. I wanted to take some more damage so you can see what that looks like, but perhaps I'll have more luck if I do that on the warrior. So let's go take a look at that. So when you jump out of the tutorial here, you'll change clothes back to normal, and we'll head into the Energizer. The Energizer is a very unique class. It actually it allows you to pre-target. So for instance, let me show you some of those abilities. So we start out and we've got a beam gun, and we have a launcher. So the launcher will launch a projectile, whereas the beam gun, you'll see it's pretty freaking cool. Again, we've got our one key. This is our sticky capacitor. So this is the one unique ability that the Energizer has that no one else has in the game, and that is that they can pre-target, creating a sticky target that will allow you to interact with some of your other skills without actually having to turn and face the target that you have selected for either a positive or a negative effect. So the prime juicer is basically a posture that you take to increase damage. Node recharge is a self-heal. Flood capacitor recharges your energy, although I haven't really seen what this particular move does. Short circuit is one of those skills that require sticky targets, and it does a damage over time on your opponent. So if you have your sticky target on an enemy, it will do a dot on that enemy, and at the same time, any allies that you have near them that you have sticky targeted will also heal enemies, or I'm sorry, heal your allies. Network surge, again, it's a sticky target. This is one that interrupts and removes block value. So that's kind of cool. Mesh ground reduces damage from all enemies. So it's a nice little debuff for your enemies, or I guess you could look at it as a buff for your party. And surge pulse boosts your party's primary stats. Doesn't say which stats, but I assume that it's tied to your class's primary stat. So for instance, the assassin, their primary stat is agility. The energizer is, of course, I believe, focus. Let me just verify. Yes, focus. Marksman is agility as well, and the warrior is strength. So they have a primary and a secondary stat that you want to focus on, but um, it will boost the primary stat. So I'm assuming it will boost your highest stat for your particular class. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sticky. We've got some nice little clones here that will act um, as our party members. So I will go ahead and deactivate my cursor here, target one with my little one key. So I'm pre-selecting these guys, and the targeting for your Energizer is still a little funky. So it takes a little while to deselect one and move to the next, but I would imagine that's just going to require a little tweaking. And then I'll go ahead and target the boss over here. Come on, hello. Why won't you? Yeah, I didn't have this happen before, but there we go. So apparently I had him too zoomed out, but that's okay. Um, so I'm gonna sticky target him. So the sticky target itself just selects him. It doesn't actually aggro the guy, so we're in good shape. And then this particular weapon, I am going to charge this guy up. This is my healing ability. And he's going to go in and engage, and I will heal this guy up a little bit, and he will go activate. And then I can switch between the two, keep them both up. And I can also do damage to the boss just using this particular ability. And as you can see, I've got a heavy attack. So I can use it for healing if I have these guys targeted, or I can target the boss and use the attack on him. Now, as you can see with your laser, you are kind of stuck in place while you're holding that attack. But there are other weapons, such as the pulse weapon, and that was a special attack. The pulse weapon allows you to be a little bit more mobile, so that's pretty nice. And I'm hoping that he beats on me a little bit here, and you can see what it looks like when you've got the indicator showing that you're low on health. And I'll also show you what the other weapon can do. As you can see, I just hot swap. This one's a little more mobile, but still not as mobile as the pulse weapon. And you know, I forgot to put on some buffs here. I'm kind of the worst for explaining things. I apologize. But man, I would sure like to take some damage here and show you what those indicators look like. But unfortunately, we've killed the boss. All right, so that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's kind of a support role. It heals your guys, so you can play heals or DPS, or a little of both. It's kind of nice, gives you some versatility. We'll go in here, and hopefully the warrior will take some damage, and we can show you what the skills or what the damage indicator looks like. So just to go over his abilities real quick, we've got two-handed weapons for him. He can play either a tank or a melee DPS, and he specializes in AoE type attacks, whereas the assassin is more single target. So we've got to show us a sample, we've got a two-handed club and a pole arm. So that's kind of cool. And they both do different moves. So you can see we've got our Q and our E, which is different, as you saw from here, Tremor, Thorn Strike, and Skewer and Eruption. The Prime Champion is basically an aggressive posture for different attacks. Jagged Edge, that gives you, I believe, a dot on your target. let's see, deal damage and apply a fatal wound effect. So the fatal wound effect, I believe, is a dot, but I haven't confirmed that yet with the devs. Bloodstorm is an AoE. Um, Rampage increases damage on sub-targets, so it's kind of like allows you to do like a cleave, and it also reduces their block chance. Fight and Flight, that's like a little speed increase for you and increases your final damage. Don't know what that means. It would be nice to get some hard numbers, like I said. Iron Will basically removes stun effects. In Rage, boosts attack power, so that's your buff. And then Life Touch is your self-heal. That one's kind of an interesting ability. You actually channel it for a moment as, or I guess it's got a casting bar. So the casting bar will fill up. Once it's activated, then as you're doing damage to your target, it's like a life steal, so you get health back. So a lot of people are confused about that one, I think. So we'll go ahead and we'll just kind of show you what these guys do. And unfortunately, I have my cursor on, so I couldn't do anything. It's kind of a rookie mistake. But as you can see, he just kind of, he hits everybody, which is kind of nice. And he's really good at pissing things off, so makes a great tank. I'll show you what this polearm looks like. Attacks slightly different, so it has a little different effect. And right now I'm just using my regular abilities, but I could use my second ability. I can use an AoE here. That was my number 3. 4. Oh, shoot, I can't remember what 4 does. Let me look. Rampage. So, yeah, so it's like my little cleave move. Let me activate this Fight and Flight so you can see what that looks like. You actually move really rapidly, both forwards and backwards with this activated. And I will go ahead and activate my number 7 here. Hopefully I can build up some special attacks so you can see what that will look like. And during the process, I hope that we can take some damage and show you what those damage indicators look like on the sides of your screen. Basically, it's just a red hex effect that shows you, hey, you need to get to safety or whatever. So here is my special attack. And it knocks them down a little bit. And we're ready to use our Q, which is our heavy. That was kind of a little uneventful. Come on. And let's see. I'm sure if I aggro this guy, he's going to show us some damage maybe. So we'll inflict our little dot here. We'll do our little AoE thing. We'll just use all the skills. We'll even move fast. Woohoo! Okay, now you can see the little red activation on the side. It shows that I am in serious trouble, and I can confirm that with my V. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my Life Touch. As you can see, there's a cast bar, and now I have to try and inflict some damage so I can get some health back. So we'll do that here. And I apologize, I am really bad at melee classes. Actually, I'm really bad at this game, most games. But I thought, you know what, I know a thing or two, and hopefully I can, oh, looks like I killed him off, nice. Hopefully I can teach you guys a few things and help get you excited about the game. So I know that the devs are taking suggestions to tweak and improve some of the combat, because I've heard that melee combat seems a little slow at this moment. But let me show you what Marksman looks like. And you can see what the other ranged class will look like. So Marksman, they start out with either a gun or a bow. or I should say their native weapons are guns and bows. And actually, I really like this kind of little sexy commando look. So that's pretty cool. I just activated my ability here. Oops. Sorry, hit control. Show you this. So we've got our epic gun. Does a sniper and kill shot. And then our bow, which is pretty awesome. Lightning strike and furoblast. Oops. Sorry, I'm getting bad at this game all of a sudden. So our hunting party is the damage done buff. So it basically buffs the party. Prime shot, it's our stance that increases our damage done. Back blast is a knockback attack. 4 is a self heal. Prescience, it's a reflect. So it's kind of like well, it's not only an interrupt, but it also is like a sorry for the interruption. It will reflect it back to them, to a mob. So weakening shot is basically a dot. It reduces the block chance, or not a dot, I apologize, a debuff. Weakening shot is a debuff that you use on your enemies. Entrap is a very cool snare. Basically, I'll show you what that looks like. It's a targeted snare. And then trigger happy increases your firing. So it's like a haste buff for you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this guy. So I just have the regular gun equipped right now. I will go ahead and use my hunting party ability. And I'll go ahead and show you what my trigger happy haste buff does. And as you can see, these guys they're kind of resetting on me a little bit. So let's go ahead and show you what this number 3 does. A little knockback thing. Kind of stuns them when you knock them back too. It's nice. So let's see, number 2. And if I want to, I can use the heal. I'll take a look at what this heavy attack is. And now our special. And we'll switch over and show you what the crossbow looks like. It's pretty awesome. A little quieter. Let me go ahead and show you what this snare looks like. So it locks them in place so you can, it's kind of a weird ability. It like pulls them to that little area. Like a gravity trap or something. I'll show you what this lightning shot looks like. And this other, we'll build up a little bit more ability and show you what the special attack looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, I backed into something and couldn't really see the animation. Anyway, all the classes have their own little unique play style and pros and cons. One thing to note is the action bar is limited, so you'll actually have more abilities than you have room for on your hotbar, and that is by design so that you have to make some tough choices sometimes to choose between more CCs for your hunter, or I should say marksman, or more tanky kind of abilities for your warrior as opposed to the DPS abilities, etc. So I hope you've enjoyed this little look at the various classes, and I'll be showing a little bit more about what you can expect in Otherland.